What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Rick and Morty video. So the latest episode was the penultimate episode of the season and possibly one of the most consistent episodes in my opinion of the entire season, with each character actually being given a lot of substance. My favourite episodes are the shows where they actually have the family working together and being exposed to the ridiculous and dangerous adventures that Rick has them doing and having them to actually deal with. They usually cope very well as Summer, Beth and Morty are all offspring of Rick, and Jerry fails heavily, which is what we get to see in this episode. He wants a good family vacation like the Griswolds in National Lampoon, but is pushed to the back of the bus literally as the family have to deal with yet another mess that Rick has got them into. And to be honest, I would not be surprised if he deliberately brought up abandoning kids, as he knew Beth would not let him get away with it, so he cannot actually go on this camping trip. Rick saying he got down and dirty with a planet because she earthy could have been total and utter cringe, and on the surface be yet another reason for people to hate on the show. And originally I thought, wow, here we go, this is going to be totally cringe, but it actually worked as a plot device throughout the entire episode and ended up being really fun. Rick's suspected offspring look like they are made out of clay, and I suspect this is a reference to Jewish theology where Adam himself was actually made out of clay, and then he also made golems out of clay, which is what these things are here. While Rick was right about the kids not being his, Beth once again shows that she's Rick's daughter truly by fixing the mess that he's created, and they are healing together about him actually abandoning her, and they are working together to fix this utter mess. Summer and Morty are having to sit with Jerry and Camp, and he hits the wall. Summer and Morty are having to sit with Jerry and Camp as she hits the nail on the head by saying he can only be perceived as successful by going back to the absolute basics when everyone is equal on a playing field where it's actually not so tough and they're not issues really to deal with. Even Morty thought it was harsh, and Summer is clearly becoming just like her mother, and even after spending so much time with Rick, Morty is still compassionate like Jerry as well. Rick and Beth play God by giving each and every person going out of the geyser a job, and even separates them out to places like Flat Earth and Middle Earth. Nice little dig there. An interesting take on the unproductives was funny, as they decide to just give up on them and blast them out the back of the building. As Jerry finds them, he can't even skip a rock, which leads him to fail. He's actually being sorted into being unproductive by Rick and Beth's own metrics that they have in the building. He finally gets his wish to actually teach people to camp with another montage, which this season seems to love so very much. The unproductives start to move beyond what they were pegged as and even start to work on a house which would actually give them a better life, but on the outside he just doesn't actually want to do this, and Jerry actually stunts their growth. He tries to stunt them, and due to his own inadequacies he actually wants them to just be and just do camping at this very base level, because he doesn't want them to grow and continue to hate him, as he mentions that the house will be of an inside and things like that, and no one wants to camp anymore. And this is a parallel of his society and the other society, which is Stark, with the other one actually building a spaceport. Summer finally gets a fat rip as they find a crashed spaceship, which I kind of hoped would have more of a story, but the story progresses to Zeus actually being the father to the children of the planet, and the children are actually made in the form where he decided to show the planet. So they're not his true form, it's just what the planet thought they would be. And it's interesting that the planet made kids that would actually look like what she thought the father looked like, and it's not the actual 4 Empire State Building size that Rick says. Jerry's clan go head to head with Beth's as Jerry is given the power of God and still fails, which is pretty funny. He could have cured cancer, but he actually decided to just prove his own point that he is completely useless. Rick being super powerful and fighting a god punch to punch was a complete and utter cringe in my opinion, and he even had an Iron Man chest piece there as well, which I really wasn't a fan of this whole scene whatsoever. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of this scene, and then fighting was, to be honest, a bit cringe. I do love, however, he was essentially saved by Morty, and some are thinking that video games and drugs would save them, but they were right, and they were really incorrect as they crash into Zeus's head. Rick validates them, and Summer was actually inhaling brake fluid the entire time. She was high and thinking she knew exactly what button would work. Jerry somehow manages to fall himself into saving the day. Rick is actually a good guy as he tried to help the planet, and he even saved them for Guy's rage, but it was probably just all to actually self-serve himself. The recurring theme of Rick throwing Morty and Summer under the bus continues here, as instead of living with the consequences of his actions as he is criticized by his daughter, he decides to just be a dick and sell them out. I'm not sure why they continue to actually help him in any way. Overall, it was a really good episode, and I really liked the religious aspects of the show, and it's funny as just a few episodes they ripped into Jesus and religion being being a story device. They literally use concepts such as Adam and Eve and stone golems and even plagues and things like that. Now, one other thing to note in this episode is the obvious parallel between Guardians of the Galaxy and this show. The entire plot is someone actually copulating with a planet, which is what we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy, which is pretty hilarious. That they've not only ripped off Iron Man, they've also made an homage here to Guardians of the Galaxy, which is pretty big. The consequences also play a big part here because it is also mentioned that, well, she's not going to come for revenge, is she? So that is a big thing, and they mentioned that in multiple episodes preceding this one, so we will probably see in future episodes. I think they said they've got like 90 episodes planned or something like that, so I expect to see returns to each one of these episodes and these races that they completely and utterly mess up beyond recompense. They will have to deal with everything they've done so far, and also next week we see a return of Susan Sarandon's psychotherapist character and also a return to the Pickle Rick style episode where Rick tries to get out of actually healing with the rest of his family by using an invisibility belt. Let me know what you think down below as you're here, and check out some other videos while you're here as well. Please do like the video as it really does help massively, and please do subscribe with notifications on so you never ever miss a video. My Snowpiercer video will be up later today, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.